All right, I'm talking.
You see Colby?
Now, if it does come on, don't jump. I know I'm scary looking. Todd is getting stressed.
No, I'm so over this. You can't even know. This is so beneath me. You know what I mean? Dude,
Yeah,
I'm doing shows for 40,000 people. This is more giving a fuck.
yeah. Hey, how you doing?
What a surprise.
Ooh.
I'm not saying anything. Watch what you say, please.
Okay. I don't curse, so we're good.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yay. All right, we're freaking good then. Yay, us. What?
This is a test.
This is a test. We're testing the stream.
He's talking. This is a test for Lakefront
This is a test for Lakefront
TV.
TV.
All right. Yeah. How's it better?
Good evening. Tonight is November 23rd, Monday. It's 5:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Mr. John Christian will be giving us your invocation and pledge of allegiance. Please rise.
Can we all stand, please, and bow our heads? Heavenly Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for living in a great city such as Leesburg, Florida. Thank you for our mayor. Thank you for our commissioners, our city managers, staff. We thank you for all the residents that make up this great, wonderful city. We pray for our president. We pray for our governor, those leaders that have rule over us. We pray for wisdom and guidance for them. We pray, God, you protect us through this pandemic. You keep our families safe and covered. We thank you for great citizens such as Chloe Coleman, who have dedicated so much to the city of Leesburg to make our city better, who we honor tonight. We thank you for a season of Thanksgiving. We have so much to be thankful and grateful for. And for that, we are truly grateful for you for giving us life, health, and strength. Thank you for our family, our friends, our troops around the world that fight for the freedom that we share and we enjoy. Thank you for our first responders that risk their lives on a daily basis to keep us all safe. It's all we bless in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have no proclamations tonight, but we do have a service award recognition of Mr. Coleman. Please.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners, Ms. City Clerk, and Mr. City Attorney. It's my pleasure tonight to present an award plaque to a man who has spent the last 40-plus years working to make the city of Leesburg a better, stronger, and more prosperous city. To put that 40 years into perspective, when Mr. Clell Coleman, who's receiving this award tonight, started on his journey with the city, what was then called the Board of Adjustment, and he's been on that continuously for all these years, which has morphed into the Planning Commission. When he started, I was a junior in high school, and now I'm closing in on 60. So over the past 18 years in working with Mr. Coleman and the Planning Commission, this city has had the pleasure of his wisdom, knowledge, and experience. So, Mr. Coleman, if I may. This plaque is, if I may read it, this plaque is presented by the Mayor and City Commission to Mr. Clell Coleman in recognition of your dedicated service to the citizens of the city of Leesburg, November 2020. Give this to you, sir. I'm very honored to do so. It's a personal honor to me and our friends here that are on the Planning Commission. And Mr. Coleman, on behalf of the city of Leesburg, we all send you a deep and heartfelt thank you.
I'm very fortunate to have such a good staff. They didn't bring us any junk. They worked with the people to get it where it was presentable. Only 2 cases I remember. And you could tell they didn't like having to do it. But by the book, they had to. So, you've got a great staff there. And the quick story is, most of you probably don't remember him, but Charlie Strickland, who was on the city commission forever and a day, came to me one day and said, we're going to have this Board of Adjustments, or we're thinking about having this Board of Adjustments. What do you think? So I thought for a minute. I said, well, I don't think I ought to do that. He said, why? I said, I have a 100% success ratio occurring before the commission. So we came back in a couple of weeks, said, we're going to have it. I said, well, you might as well me. So thank you.
Tonight, we have to certify the results of the November 3rd election. We, the undersigned, Jason Nemeth, County Judge, Alan Hayes, Supervisor of Elections, Jennifer Hill, BOCC Chair, constituting the Board of County Canvassers in and for said county, do hereby certify that we met on the 13th day of November 2020 and proceeded publicly to canvass the votes given for the several offices and persons herein specified at the nonpartisan held on the 3rd day of November 2020, as shown by the returns on file in the Office of the Supervisor of Elections. We do hereby certify from said returns as follows. For Leesburg Commissioner Seat 1, District 1, the whole number of votes cast was 3,106, of which Jimmy Berry received 1,763 votes, Alan Reisman received 1,343 votes. For Leesburg Commissioner Seat 3, District 3, the whole number of votes cast was 4,763, of which Jay Cannell received 2,502 votes, Jasmine Felix received 1,133 votes, Fred Griffin Jr. received 1,128 votes. Leesburg Ordinance 20-25, referendum to change city commission districts to 5 single-member districts rather than 3 single-member and 2 at-large. Yes for approval, 6,975 votes. No for rejection, 3,335 votes. We certify that pursuant to Section 101.112 Florida statutes, the Canvassing Board has compared the number of persons who voted with the number of ballots counted, and that the certification includes all valid votes cast in the election. So ends the election. Okay, this next section is for public comments. Public may bring up matters of concern or opportunities for praise. Issues brought up will not be discussed in detail at this meeting. Issues will either be referred to the proper staff or will be scheduled for consideration at a future City Commission meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Would anybody like to speak tonight? Yes, Tracy.
Good evening, Tracy Samples, 605 West Magnolia Street. President of the Downtown Leesburg Business Association. Just want to give some kudos, Madam Mayor, City Manager, City Commissioner, City Clerk. I talked to a few of the businesses today, and a lot of them received their CARES Act check, and that is very helpful, and we thank you for all the extra hard work that we know you put in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The consent agenda. Routine items are placed on the consent agenda to expedite the meeting. If the commissioner staff wish to discuss any item, the procedure is as follows. 1, pull the item from the consent agenda. 2, vote on remaining items with 1 roll call vote. And 3, discuss each pulled item and vote by roll call. Are there any items you wish to pull tonight? Commissioner Christian. Commissioner Roebuck. Commissioner Hurley.
I do have a question.
Yes.
I do have a question on B5, so I need to pull it.
B5. Okay, and I'd like B3, both parts, A and B pulled, please. Can we have a vote on the remaining items?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley,
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Mayor Dennison.
Yes. Okay. 3A, would somebody introduce, please?
I'll introduce, has to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a non-exclusive end-user license agreement with Perconti Data Systems for a cost of $246,400 and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Reason I pulled this, the information that was out on the agenda this week only appeared to have page 2 of this. So there was no definition, there's no clarification on what this $250,000 is. So I would like some type of information, preferably from the city manager.
Hey, which is
That
the reference
is-
on page 2?
3A.
Right. But I'm looking at, I'm trying to figure out what you had missing. Is the
What
full
the,
agenda transmittal in there?
What the original information sent out to us on that new format only appeared to have page 2. So while I would love to get 246 off the cuff, I can't do that with another company.
Okay, just give me a second here. I'm looking to see where you're at as far as what was missing. It looks like the full agenda transmittal was in there. And you essentially understand the purchase. The purchase is the new software equipment for the building and the planning and zoning department to help process permits and the like. It was part of the fiscal year 21 budgeting process. We did a solicitation on those bids. We had a ranking of them, so we kind of mirrored the RFP process, and preferred alternative there was $246,000 for the, how do you pronounce that, Mike? For the,
For Conti Data System.
Conti Data System. So that was the agenda transmittal. I'm assuming you saw all of that in your package.
No, I did not. If you go back to where we bring up the city website, and it's to use this new information from such a date on,
Right.
it was in that package. I did not have
Yep,
the
I'm on
information.
Same link there, Mayor, so give me 2 seconds. I'll go back there. So, City Commission agenda, click the link, agenda minutes, and if you click on the 1123, and you go to item 3B, and hit the agenda memorandum on the computer,
Mm-hmm.
it pops up 2 pages.
Okay, I did not see it.
Okay,
Thank you for checking.
understand.
But that brings in, well, let's go ahead and vote on this, and we'll bring up 3B. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Roebuck? Commissioner Hurley?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Christian?
Yes.
Mayor Dennison?
Yes. Would somebody introduce 3B, please?
I'll introduce, has to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a maintenance and support agreement with Perconti Data Systems, Inc., and providing an effective date.
Motion to approve, please.
Second.
The reason I brought this up, because of the confusion between the 246,400, and I believe the number, which is not on this agenda, is also $246,000.
Right, we're just splitting it between general fund and building fund.
Okay, but that means we're paying this company $500,000 for software?
No, 246 total, 46,000 from general fund, 200 from building.
Okay, so the grand total is 246.
Yes.
It's not an additional $56,000 a year.
Correct.
Okay.
Did I get that right, Mike? I
The
did get it
first,
right.
Mike Thornton, purchasing manager, the first item is to purchase the software. The second item here is for annual support agreement. The annual support will not take effect until January of 2022.
Okay, and at that time, it's $56,000 a year.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. I just needed clarification
Hey,
on those
and what was
numbers.
the general fund, and so I'm clear on that too. What was the general fund, building fund split?
On the annual support, I don't know. I'd have to get with Brandy on
On the
that.
software purchase?
Actually, it's all going to the building fund according to this. agenda memo.
Even better.
Yeah, I was gonna ask why not, all of it, but.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hurley,
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Christian,
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck,
Yes.
Mayor Dennison.
Yes. Would somebody like to introduce B5?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement for improvements to the Sleepy Hollow Sports Complex in preparation for NCAA softball competition with PCDG Construction LLC for an amount of $269,037.04 and providing an effective date.
And the reason I pulled this, I
Hold
just
on, we
wanted,
need a motion for approval.
Move for approval.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mike.
the reason I pulled it, I just had a question. It implies that we already have the money from the county, and I did not realize we had that already. I supported it either way. I just wanted clarification for the record.
The money from the county is reimbursable, so we have to spend it and then we get it paid.
Okay, I guess in the last meeting, I wasn't clear they had agreed to that yet.
They did.
Okay, that's what I wasn't sure about. And then secondly, I brought it up in the last meeting. Yeah, I think this is great for the city. The road in there, I don't know if we need to talk about that or if we handle it at staff level, but the road into this park is not impressive. And with all these people coming into town, I said before, I'd just like to see that road resurfaced or improved from the road into it. I forget the name of the road.
Again, there's a couple things in there too, because that number came under budget. So A, we need to do some signage upgrades, and B, we do have some additional gas tax money, so we can look to do an overlay on that road.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's all I had.
Now, we did get the approval from the NCAA.
We did not yet. So we're still not spending all this until we get that. We are very close to
Okay.
it. And Travis and the folks there can give you an update. Essentially, everything is a green light. And the colleges in the Big Ten are going through their medical staffs to get approvals of how they do the COVID planning and these type of things. And they're kind of going sport by sport.
Okay.
So they're on lacrosse, and women's softball
It's
is
at the
next
bottom.
up on
Yeah, of course.
is next up. So we're telling them we need this approval ASAP, and we hope to get it here shortly. And once we do, then we'll be all set up. I'll report back to you, and we should be able to roll it out.
Okay. So in the meantime, we're not going to go ahead and spend any of this money.
Probably little pieces of it. We won't spend the whole thing. We'll start to prep, but the bulk of the stuff won't be spent until we get
Okay.
affirmative.
All right, thank you. Was there any other information you needed, Commissioners?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Christian,
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley,
Yes.
Mayor Dennison.
Yes. Resolutions, C1, would somebody like to introduce, please?
I'll introduce, has to be read by title only.
It's by consent.
That's all gonna.
Oh,
They
it's by
didn't pull
consent.
that one, yes, sir. They didn't pull that one. Consent.
Okay. So we're going to public hearings and non-routine items. I think Mr. Hurley is going to get his wish. And we have no public hearings. Informational reports. City Attorney?
Night, Mayor.
Thank you. City Manager?
For Commissioner Hurley, I'll be extremely brief, but I did want to give a quick CARES Act update. Of the 1.2 million that we have, we've spent most of it to date. We did receive the county money, so we didn't have to play the shuffle the deck game. We paid Category 1 out to the mall. We've paid all of Category 3 out based on the first come, first served basis. We received over 100 grants in that category, and we paid up to about 72 grants. So we got probably about 2/3 of the applications paid. Of the 72, there are probably about 3 or 4 that were denied. The 2 reasons for denial were, 1, the business was not in corporate city limits, or 2, there was only 1 actually that didn't provide enough information, so we went to the next grant. On that note, I did petition the county for additional CARES Act money to replenish Category 3. We should hear back from them by the end of the month. And again, all of the county CARES Act money, all that $64 million, is to be spent by the end of the year. So the Board of County Commissioners will consider that request, and I've been in touch with Jeff Cole quite a little bit. Category 2, the Downtown Business Owners Grant, is the only grant that's not paid out. I think we've issued 14 grants on that, and there's about $100,000 left. So if you own a facility in downtown and in that historic, or in that category box, which is basically Magnolia to Meadow, I think we went 3rd to 9th, that box. Contact my office and we'll see if you qualify and get your grant application filled out. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
I just want to make one comment there, Al. I continue to have downtown property owners call me or talk to me. They're confused. They think this is automatic. I keep telling them they have to turn in some kind of paperwork.
Right. We had this conversation. So the important thing for that all the categories, especially category number 2, though, we need you to fill out the application. We need you to provide those forms. Those are the documentations that make the grant payable. So that's the federal track. So we need that paperwork from them to give to the county, to give to the feds, to justify the funds. So you got to go to the website or call my office. You got to fill out the app, and you got to provide some information. It's not hard. It's been pretty easy. It's been pretty seamless. But they do need to fill out that grant application.
With
And
the
do it
confusion is,
fast.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Do it fast, because we
Well,
have to return the money at the
I
end
know,
of the year.
that's where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Is there a way to notify these people? I mean, there is confusion on the street. They thought we approved this. They thought we did the calculations. They think they're just getting the money. So if we could look at the list and just notify these people or something.
I can do something. We'll try to get some personal notifications out to those owners.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Peterson?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Hurley?
Well, I would think too, the partnership, Downtown Merchants and Chamber could help us get that word out. They interact with them quite a bit. So, now that meetings have slowed down, other than when we have a big meeting, just a question, are we like ever going back to the chamber? Or I mean, are we just staying like 40 feet spread forever?
That's really at your discretion. This has probably been one of my calls to continue here. I think everybody on the commission has different opinions about spreading out 6 feet and these type of things. I don't think there's anything in the governor's executive order that would prohibit that. So it's really a matter of where this body wants to meet.
Well, I know that if we had a big issue, like probably a subdivision, we need to be here or at the Pat Thomas Field. But I just thought maybe when it's 15 people here, we could just go back there, because I think the capacity there is 80. So anyway, it's just a question. I mean, I fought really hard for those chairs, and I never get to see it. Jimmy's going to get to sit in my chair, and I don't even get to look at it.
And the restrooms.
And the brand new restroom. I'm missing out all the way around. I mean, I did a lot for you, Jimmy. I really did. But I just want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. This year was a lot for me, and you put stuff in perspective, and you realize in life that the most important thing you have is relationships with your family and friends. And I'd like to encourage you this year at Thanksgiving, if you're looking around and you're starting to feel sorry for yourself, that means you're looking at the wrong people. Look at those who are less fortunate than you, and those that don't have the relationships and the things that God's blessed you with, and you'll realize just how much you have to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. So hope everybody has a great holiday, and happy Thanksgiving.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Well, Commissioner Hurley said it much more eloquently than I will, so I'll just say happy Thanksgiving.
Commissioner Christian?
Also, happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and please stay safe. We've heard of the news reports about trying to limit your family interactions and social distancing. Had one particular family in my church who was visiting their family in Maryland, being safe, being cautious, and the kids and grandkids came to visit, and 12 family members contracted COVID-19. So please be safe. Of course, you do what you want to do, but I just pray that we all be responsible. And as Commissioner Hurley said, I love my family so much. I told them to stay home for Thanksgiving. I'll catch them once things clears up. So We will be feeding the community as we've always done. We'll do a drive-through, pick up your food and go. So we're still doing what we normally do as a church and as a community, but we are reminding people to stay safe. Al, also on the $100,000+ you have left over, once we got the word out, what's our drop dead date that we find other ways to get rid of this money if nobody picks it up?
Probably, let's get the word out, and I spoke to Jeff about shifting those funds over, so if they aren't collected, I would suggest that we shift that back into category 3 and pay that out. I would give that to mid-December.
Okay, that's all I have. Al, we've been talking with some other things about some issues in our city. A church pastor called me. He has a conflict with another facility. City attorney and the city manager working with that. And one of the issues is another group rented a building right in front of the church. And there's kind of a conflict he feels with the group, the motorcycle club that's renting the building with very limited parking. He spent about $1.3 million on his church. He just feels it's very unfair that he buys a building and renovates and someone rents a building and probably 10 feet from his children area that will be consuming alcohol. So he's very concerned. The city staff is working, but I just want to go on record. I think that is not how our law should be interpreted, where if I buy a building, renovate it, put $1 million, somebody rents a building right in front of me. I'm having church and they're having a motorcycle party right across from my children's playground. So hopefully this can be remedied. And that a person who invests $1.3 million in a facility in Leesburg doesn't have to get impacted by someone who rents a building right in front of them and negatively affects what they do. Whether it's the church or anybody else, I just think that's how our law should be interpreted. So hopefully we can remedy that situation as soon as possible. Thank you, Ms. Mayor. That's all I have.
Mayor Dennison?
Just one issue, and that is the airport. I understand the power and the trucks that are working on the new restored runway. The only request I have is that would you and Tracy sit down with our advisory board at the airport, Chairman Alan Reisman, and try to determine what our interaction with that board should be going forward, and also what can be done about the ramp, because we paid $2 million for that ramp, and right now it's been closed.
Yeah, I think that's a rumor, Tracy. I don't think this is news to me, so.
Good evening. The seaplane ramp is open. It will remain open for the entirety of the construction project, but with any project, because of the way our infrastructure is, there are some inconveniences when we do any project. There's a section of Alpha that is currently closed because it is in part of the construction safety and phasing plan that was approved by the FAA. So essentially it is part of the haul route where they're taking dirt out. It does not necessarily need to be closed for the entirety of the project, but for right now it is. So pilots can still use the seaplane ramp, but from there they can't access other services. If they truly need the FBO and are looking for fuel, then the FBO can easily come to them with their mobile trucks.
Okay.
So taxiway A or Alpha is the parallel to 3113.
Correct.
And
the portion that is
to the ramp.
Right, and the portion that is closed is from the extension, which goes to the ramp, up to Kilo, because Kilo in and out through the fire department is also part of the haul route.
Okay, so in English, that's the cross-section runway out to the lake.
Correct.
It's closed.
Correct. And perhaps they will be able to open it once they finish milling and resurfacing from 321 to the end of 31 at the intersection. It's possible. I don't off the top of my head know the future plan, but once they're done working on that side of the intersection, then it should be able to be opened up, because they will be on the 13 side of 1331. And the haul route will then change.
Okay, I repeat, would you and Tracy please sit down with Alan and let's make sure that this, because I'm hearing even right now that this is not what's happening. So please sit down with them and get it straightened out. Thank you. Thanks, Tracy. Okay, Saturday, the school board is having the trees at the mall which is the lighting of the trees, and they'll do the auctioning and whatnot by the kids that have put all these trees together. It's usually a really good time, so if you have an opportunity, stop by the mall. It starts, I believe, at 6. I'm not sure the exact time, so. Also, the Christmas parade on Saturday, the first week of December, would be starting at, again, I believe it's 7. 6, thank you. 50-50 chance there. Prior to that is going to be the Christmas stroll, and a lot of these things are being opened up again gradually, but you're not going to be without all the celebration. So please support these issues. Look for the correct time and dates and whatnot, and look for any advertising come from the Downtown Business Association, and please have a good time. Thanksgiving, I want to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. Yes, we would ask you to watch the number of people at your house, and please take precautions, because we don't want to lose anybody or have you go through an illness for the holidays. And that being said, thank you and happy Thanksgiving. We are closed.